Tunaenda Ministry of Health. Sijui kwa nini unaenda hii barabara. We are going to the Ministry of Health for a press conference that has been called at 2 o'clock. Watson, mko sure hii assignment ni ya saa 8? Sisi ndio wa kwanza kufika hapa.
Kennedy Murithi. That name betrays it all. Absolutely. Thank you. I have nothing else to say.
Welcome to Journalists Unheard. My guest today is someone whose name betrays him. He doesn't need any introduction. NTV journalist, Snr Political Reporter, Kennedy Murithi. My name is Robert Kodingo, and let's get right on with it. Kennedy. We have a lot to talk about. We might not capture it in one sitting, but let's start right off the bat. Your name betrays you. We have to talk about this before we get into the nitty-gritties of why you make part of the journalists who are unheard.
Well, it's quite interesting, Robert, that you will actually even go that far. This thing happened in 2014, and I will say then I was working for an affiliate of the Nation Media Group. It is called QTV, and my thirst for journalism has actually drawn me this far. And when he told me that my name betrays me, I remember the flurry of activity that I saw on Twitter and me 2,000 followers. I've never looked at it like how people viewed it. People viewed it as a slur. I looked at it. It is until that press conference was over, I went on social media, saw the first tweet by Elgeyo Marakwet Senator Kipchumba Murkomen trying to castigate Kalonzo, that I knew, oh, so it was this big. It elevated my career to some level that today I'll say that it played a huge part in having me have the job that I have right now and making the strides that I have made in my career. Was it a bad thing? Yes, morally. Was it a good thing? Yes, it built my career.
Every journalist is always waiting for that one big story or that one big break that's going to really put them out there. From that angle of things, how do you place yourself? Are you well balanced, or are you still waiting for another major break, or it has not quite gotten there?
Rob, I'll tell you, we've been in journalism together, and we even went to the same school. You haven't told them that. So we were in the same school, same class. So I'm happy when I see that this is a studio that you've built up, and this is the journalism of the new era. Now, this kind of journalism that we are in, the competition is so much that you cannot say that you're still waiting for your break. Remember, Robert, that you are as good as your last story. And this one has to be overemphasized. Yesterday I did a story, but that story is left at that. The moment it is broadcast, you're supposed to look for another story. With regards to your question, there is no big break. Every day is a big break. Every time I get a story, every time I'm sent out on assignment, Robert, and I have to be very honest, every time I'm sent out on assignment, I have the chills in my stomach. How will I deliver this story so that nobody else scoops me?
Has your job ever made you feel depressed?
No.
No. But there are pressures that come with it. Would you mind sharing some of the pressures that come with being a journalist?
There are pressures in this job. So many pressures. Actually, for people like me who work in the political world, the pressure is real. People will view you with the stories that you do, and they will tell what inclination you have. If you balance the story, you are still an enemy. If you do a good story that this is what happened, the other side will feel like you're favoring the other side. If you do a bad story, the other side will feel. So in journalism, and in actually political journalism, you are very much underappreciated because nobody wants to associate with you in a manner likely to suggest that you belong to this side and to that other side.
Some of the expectations that people normally have as a journalist, you're probably somewhere, you're wearing the badge, they see it's written Nation Media Group, or you have the cape, or you just have a branded item written NTV, or probably just riding in a car branded NTV.
Number one, everybody believes that you can get them a job. It's not automatic that because I work for NTV, people will listen to me, and when I tell them to give you a job, they will give you a job. Number two, people believe that you have answers to everything. We do not. When you call this Journalists Unheard, I like the fact that you're calling it that, because there are so many societal pressures that come with you working for such a brand. Number 3, people think that we're paid a lot of money. Robert, we are not. We're like every other Kenyan. Just like any other job. Ni wewe kujipanga.
Exactly.
If you're paid 2,000 shillings, how are you able to spend 15 and save 500? I go to Mwea, I buy rice, I sell to people. Every morning, my wife tells me, sometimes after every 3 days, she tells me, before you go to work, let us wake up very early in the morning, let us go to Kichinjio, we buy meat so that we're able to cook. My brother, I'll tell you, I have a very supportive wife. Oh, I have a very supportive wife. And the support she gives me, that she understands, because she also has a background of media. She's a PR practitioner. She understands the nature of my job. When the BBI rallies were going all over the country, I had been assigned to go around with them. So it was quite challenging to balance between family and home. But the moment that they see me on TV, they know that Daddy is working.
The dangers of being a journalist. Have you encountered one? And if you've encountered those dangers, where, or rather at what point did it ever probably change you personally? Or did it ever change something significantly in your life?
To be very honest with you, I have not been faced with a dangerous situation as of yet. And those situations that I have met have actually built me. So I have not been faced with that dangerous situation as of yet. And I thank this probably on the laws. And we have also a robust, system that protects the journalists. And I'm not talking about the government system, but the likes of the Media Council, the Editors Guild, and they come out and they defend you very well. Remember, Robert, and I will be very honest with you, it is not in the government's interest that journalists are as free as they are.
What do you think over this, giving journalists specific titles so that they are known out there? NTV, I think, is probably the only people who are doing it.
Specialization is important. It is. But I will tell you from the top of my mind, and it's reservations that I have had. I do not have a problem with people who come and do journalism as a second course. But I would want the importance of journalism and studying it from first year to fourth year preserved. A journalist is a jack of all trades. People expect us to know science, to know politics, to know sports and all that. And it makes me versatile. There are these people who are now coming up, like the ones you've mentioned, and they're coming with titles like doctors and all that. And it's not a bad thing. But it is also coming with its own challenges, where people believe that they know more than you do. And to some certain extent, nobody knows everything.
If you were to postulate, how lean would a newsroom be in the next 10 years?
I would not postulate. I would say people will work with a lot of stringers and correspondence. People will be bringing material to newsrooms and will be done probably by 3 or 4 or 5 people, or you'll be on a 2-year contract with the media house that will tell you that we want you in Meru and we want you to be recording stories for us, and we'll be paying you per story. So you'll be a content producer, then you'll be bringing this thing to media houses.
Police brutality against journalists. Have you experienced one? Or have you experienced an occasion like that?
Police will never change. Police officers have orders, and they have to effect the orders as they have been told to. But police also have to understand that we have a symbiotic relationship. The relationship between journalists and police is the same relationship between journalists and politicians. All of us need each other. But the moment you turn on one, all the others will come at you. And the pressure that was there when Wainaina was hit is what made those police officers wasimamishwe kazi. So it is going to be like that. If you attack one of us, we come and protect.
You have to protect, yes,
each other, because that's how the world works, and that's how it will work.
You're a senior political reporter at NTV. We've seen Siasa has really gone down in the country. We don't know how we're going to sit this out, the corona.
They're already calling me Dr. Murithi. Remember, by the time we are done with COVID, we will already be in 2021, let us say 2021, and nobody will be listening to the president. Everybody will be campaigning. It is going to be so hot.
There you have it. That's Kennedy Murithi on Journalists Unheard. Wait up for the next episode. We will be hosting Citizen TV business reporter, Hot 96 host, Patrick Pato Pash Igunza.